What if I told you that a doctor sworn to save lives fell head over heels for his comatose patient, a woman whose wealth and beauty were the talk of the town, only for a miracle to turn their world upside down? Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But this is real, raw, and packed with twists that'll leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about love, duty, and the impossible. Stick with me for the next few minutes, because I'm about to pull you into a story that's got it all. Heart-pounding drama, forbidden romance, and a mystery that'll keep you up at night. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into a world where every choice could mean life or death, and I promise by the end, you'll have the answers you came for. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's dive into this roller coaster together. You won't want to look away. Imagine this: you're a doctor, working grueling shifts in a bustling city hospital. Your life is a blur of stethoscopes, charts, and split-second decisions. You've seen it all: heart attacks, broken bones, miracles, and tragedies. But nothing prepares you for her. She's wheeled into the ICU one stormy night, unconscious, her face pale but striking, like she's sleeping in a fairy tale. Her name is Isabella Monroe, a 32-year-old heiress whose family name is splashed across skyscrapers and charity galas. She's not just wealthy, she's a legend, a woman whose life was perfect until a car accident left her in a coma, teetering between life and death. You, the viewer, might be wondering, how does a doctor, trained to stay detached, get tangled up in a patient's life? That's where Dr. Ethan Caldwell comes in. He's 38, brilliant, and a little rough around the edges. Think George Clooney in his ER days, but with a heart that's been bruised by loss. Ethan spent years building walls around his emotions, focusing on saving lives instead of living his own. But something about Isabella pulls him in. Maybe it's the way her hand twitches when he checks her pulse, or the stories her family whispers about her vibrant life before the crash. You're probably thinking, this sounds messy. And you're right. It's messy, complicated, and oh so human. I know you're curious. How does love bloom in a sterile hospital room? What happens when a doctor crosses lines he swore never to cross? Keep watching, because I'm going to lay it all out for you, and trust me, you'll want to see how this unfolds. Now, let's talk about you for a second. You're here because you love a good story, one that makes your heart race and your mind spin. You're the kind of person who gets hooked on true crime podcasts, binge watches medical dramas, or maybe you've even fallen for someone you shouldn't have. We've all been there. Drawn to something or someone that feels like trouble but also like fate. That's what this story is about. The pull of the forbidden, the clash between what's right and what feels right. I'm not just telling you a tale. I'm inviting you to feel it, to imagine yourself in Ethan Scrubs or Isabella's hospital bed. You might be wondering, why should I care about these people? Because their story is about the choices we all face. Duty versus desire, hope versus reality. And I know you're itching to know, what's the miracle? How does a woman in a coma change everything? I'm getting there, I promise, but you've got to stay with me. This isn't just a video, it's a journey, and I'm your guide, holding your hand through every twist and turn. You're not alone in this. I'm right here, unraveling the mystery with you, and I guarantee you'll be shocked by what comes next. Let's set the scene a bit more. Picture a high-end hospital in New York City, all glass walls and cutting-edge tech, where the rich and powerful come to be saved. It's 2024, and the world outside is buzzing with trending topics. AI breakthroughs, celebrity scandals, and viral TikTok dances. But inside these walls, time feels frozen. Ethan's days are a grind of monitoring Isabella's vitals, dodging nosy reporters, and ignoring the whispers from nurses who've noticed how long he lingers by her bedside. Isabella's family, led by her steely mother Victoria Monroe, is a force of nature. Victoria's got the kind of wealth that buys silence and loyalty, and she's determined to protect her daughter's legacy, even if it means keeping secrets. You're probably thinking, secrets? What kind? Oh, they're juicy. Think hidden motives, shady business deals, and a family history that's more tangled than a soap opera. But I won't spill too much yet. What I will tell you is that Ethan starts noticing things. Small, strange details about Isabella's case that don't add up. A chart with inconsistencies. A visitor who doesn't sign in. And then there's the way his heart skips when he talks to her, even though she can't answer. You've felt that, haven't you? That spark with someone you barely know, but it's like your soul recognizes theirs? That's what Ethan's grappling with, and it's tearing him apart. You're going to see every layer of this struggle, and I know you're dying to know how it all connects. Here's where it gets real. This story isn't just about a doctor and a patient. It's about what it means to be human. Love, loss, hope, betrayal, it's all here. You might be watching this on your phone, curled up on your couch, or sneaking a peek during a lunch break, but I want you to feel like you're in that hospital with Ethan, hearing the beeps of the monitors, smelling the antiseptic, feeling the weight of every choice. I'm talking directly to you because I know you're invested now. You're wondering if Isabella wakes up. You're curious if Ethan risks his career for love. And you're desperate to know what the miracle is. I see you, and I'm not going to leave you hanging, but you've got to stick with me to the end. This isn't one of those videos where you can skip to the last minute and get the whole picture. Every moment builds to something bigger, something that'll hit you like a tidal wave. Think of it like your favorite Netflix series, but it's all happening right here, right now, and I'm telling it just for you. You're part of this story, and I'm counting on you to see it through. Let's zoom in on Ethan for a moment. He's not your typical hero. He's got flaws. Maybe he's too stubborn, too idealistic, or too quick to trust. But that's what makes him real. He's the guy who'd stay up all night studying a patient's file, not because it's his job, but because he can't let go. When he starts falling for Isabella, it's not just her beauty or her tragic story. It's the glimpses of who she was, a woman who lit up rooms, who gave millions to charity, who had dreams bigger than her bank account. Ethan reads her old journals, brought by her sister, and it's like she's speaking to him. You know that feeling, don't you? When you connect with someone through their words, their passions, even if you've never met. That's what's happening here, and it's pulling Ethan into dangerous territory. He's breaking every rule in the book, risking his license, his reputation, everything. You're probably shouting at the screen, "Ethan, what are you doing?" But you get it. You've taken risks for love or hope or something you couldn't explain. That's why you're still here, watching, waiting for the moment it all makes sense. Now, let's talk about the stakes. Isabella's not just any patient. Her coma is a media frenzy. Think trending hashtags like #SaveIsabella or #ComaHeirs. The public is obsessed, and the pressure on Ethan is crushing. Her family's watching his every move, and the hospital board is breathing down his neck. But something's off. Ethan starts digging, and the deeper he goes, the more he realizes Isabella's accident might not have been an accident at all. You heard that right. There's a darker layer to this story, one that involves power, greed, and secrets that could destroy lives. You're probably leaning in now, thinking, who's behind this? What do they want? I'm not going to tell you yet, but I will say this. Every clue Ethan uncovers brings him closer to Isabella, and closer to danger. You're going to see it all, the late-night research, the hushed conversations, the moments where he wonders if he's losing his mind. I know you're hooked, and I'm right there with you, unraveling this mystery step by step. You're not just a viewer, you're my partner in this, and I need you to stay until we get to the truth. Here's the thing. This story is about more than just Ethan and Isabella. It's about the miracles we chase, the ones we don't see coming. You've had moments like that, haven't you? When life throws you a curveball, and suddenly everything changes. That's what's coming. A moment that'll make your jaw drop. I'm not talking about some cheesy, predictable ending. This is real, raw, and full of heart. You might be wondering how a coma patient fits into a love story, or how a miracle ties it all together. I'm going to give you those answers, but you've got to trust me and keep watching. Picture this, Ethan, standing by Isabella's bed, whispering to her about his day, not knowing if she can hear him. The monitors beep steadily, the room is dim, and outside, the city hums with life. Then, something happens. Something small, almost imperceptible, but it changes everything. A twitch. A word. A sign that she's still in there, fighting to come back? I'm not saying what it is, but it's the kind of moment that'll give you chills. You're on the edge of your seat now, aren't you? Good. Because this is where the story takes a turn you won't see coming, and I need you with me to find out what happens next. So, here we are, you and me at the edge of something huge. You've got questions burning in your mind. Does Isabella wake up? Does Ethan lose everything for love? What's the miracle that changes it all? I'm not going to leave you hanging, but I'm also not going to rush this. You deserve the full story, every heartbeat, every secret, every twist. You're not just watching a YouTube video, you're living this with me, feeling the weight of Ethan's choices, the hope in Isabella's silence, the danger lurking in the shadows. I know you're invested. You wouldn't still be here if you weren't. So let's make a deal. You stick with me, and I'll give you a story that'll stay with you long after the video ends. Right now, Ethan's standing in that hospital room, staring at Isabella, his heart pounding as he notices something impossible. What is it? What does it mean? You're about to find out, but only if you keep watching. The truth is closer than you think, and it's going to blow your mind. Right where we left off, Ethan's standing frozen in that dimly lit hospital room, his eyes locked on Isabella's delicate hand, which just twitched, barely, but enough to send his heart racing. You're probably screaming at the screen. Is she waking up? What does this mean? Hold that thought, because this moment is just the spark that ignites a firestorm of questions, secrets, and choices that'll pull you deeper into this story. You and we're in this together, peeling back the layers of a tale that's equal parts romance, mystery, and raw human struggle. Let's step back and paint the bigger picture, weaving in the lives, motives, and shadows circling Ethan and Isabella. This isn't just about a doctor and his patient anymore. It's about a web of ambition, betrayal, and hope that stretches far beyond the hospital walls. You're going to meet new faces, uncover hidden truths, and feel the tension ratchet up, but I'm not giving away the big answers yet. Trust me, you'll want to savor every twist as it comes. So settle in, because this story's about to get even wilder, and I need you with me to see where it leads. Let's rewind a bit to understand how Ethan and Isabella ended up here. Ethan Caldwell grew up in a small Midwestern Ohio, far from the glitz of New York City's elite hospitals. He clawed his way through medical school on scholarships, driven by a promise he made to his late mother, a nurse who died when he was just a kid. He'd save lives, no matter the cost. That promise is his North Star, but it's also his burden. At 38, he's a rising star at St. Augustine's Medical Center, known for his relentless work ethic and a knack for pulling patients back from the brink. But the grind's taken a toll. Sleepless nights, failed relationships, and a nagging sense that he's lost something along the way. You know that feeling, don't you? When you're so focused on the goal that you forget why you started. That's Ethan when Isabella arrives. Her case is different, not just because of her wealth or the media storm. #Coma heiress is trending on X, with millions speculating about her fate, but because of what she represents. Isabella Monroe, before the accident, was a force. A philanthropist who funded schools, a style icon gracing magazine covers, and a woman whose smile could charm a room. Her coma, caused by a late-night crash on a rain-slicked highway, has left the world holding its breath. Ethan's job is to keep her alive, but the more he learns about her, the more he sees a kindred spirit. Someone who, like him, was driven by purpose. You're probably wondering how a doctor gets this invested, and that's the hook. Ethan's not just treating a patient. He's chasing a connection that feels like it was meant to be. Now, let's talk about Isabella's world, because it's a labyrinth of power and privilege. The Monroe family isn't just rich, they're American royalty, with a real estate empire that spans continents. Her mother, Victoria Monroe, is a formidable woman in her late 50s, all sharp cheekbones and sharper instincts. Victoria's the kind of person who commands a room without raising her voice, and she's fiercely protective of Isabella's legacy. But there's something guarded about her, like she's hiding more than just grief. You've met people like that, haven't you? The ones who seem to know more than they let on? Victoria's visits to the hospital are brief, her conversations with Ethan clipped, but her eyes miss nothing. Then there's Isabella's younger sister, Lily, a 28-year-old artist with a rebellious streak. Lily's the opposite of her polished family. Tattooed, outspoken, and unafraid to challenge Victoria's control. Lily brings Ethan Isabella's journals, filled with dreams of breaking free from the Monroe name, and it's through these pages that Ethan starts to fall. You can relate to that, right? Finding someone's words and feeling like they're speaking directly to you? But Lily's got her own agenda, dropping hints about family tensions and a cryptic comment about the crash. It wasn't just bad luck. That line sticks with Ethan, and it's starting to stick with you too, isn't it? What does Lily know? Why is she so cagey? You're dying to find out, and I'm right there with you, piecing this puzzle together. Here's where things get murky, and I know you love a good mystery. Ethan's not just battling his feelings for Isabella. He's noticing cracks in her case. The accident report is oddly vague, skid. Marks that don't match the weather. A witness who vanished. He's no detective, but his gut's telling him something's off. You've had that feeling, haven't you? When the pieces don't quite fit, and you can't let it go. Ethan starts digging, pulling late nights in the hospital's records room, cross-referencing data. He finds a discrepancy, a blood test from the night of the crash, buried in the system, showing traces of a sedative not prescribed by the hospital. It's a small detail, but it's enough to make his palms sweat. Was Isabella drugged? If so, by whom? You're probably yelling, "Keep going, Ethan," because you're as hooked as I am. But it's not just the medical mystery. There's a stranger lurking, someone Ethan catches watching Isabella's room. A man in a dark coat who slips away when spotted. Ethan reports it to security, but the hospital's cameras conveniently glitched that night. Coincidence? You and I both know better. This is where the tension ramps up, and you're leaning in, desperate for answers I'm not giving you yet, because the truth is worth the wait. Let's introduce a subplot to keep your pulse racing. Enter Dr. Rachel Kim, Ethan's colleague and former flame. Rachel's a neurosurgeon, whip-smart and fiercely independent, with a history of clashing with Ethan over hospital politics. Their breakup 2 years ago was messy. Too many missed dinners, too much ambition, but there's still a spark, and you can feel it. Rachel's skeptical of Ethan's obsession with Isabella, warning him he's risking his career. You're seeing what you want to see, she tells him, but her tone wavers, like she's worried for him. Or is she jealous? You've been in those gray areas, haven't you? Where trust and doubt blur. Rachel's got her own pressures, rumors of budget cuts and a hospital board pushing for cost-effective care, which could mean pulling the plug on patients like Isabella. Rachel's pragmatic, but Ethan wonders if she's too close to the board, especially to Dr. Harold Vance, the hospital's slick CEO. Vance is all charm and tailored suits, but Ethan's caught him whispering with Victoria Monroe in hushed tones. Are they plotting something? You're starting to see the web now. Hospital politics, family secrets, and Ethan's heart caught in the middle. You're invested, aren't you? I knew you would be. Now, let's deepen the intrigue with another perspective. The public's obsession. Isabella's story is viral, with YouTube vloggers and ex-influencers dissecting every detail. Channels like True Crime Daily are racking up millions of views with titles like, "Did someone try to kill the Coma heiress?" The hashtag #SaveIsabella hashtag is flooded with prayers, but also wild theories. Conspiracies about corporate rivals, scorned lovers, even cults. You've scrolled through those rabbit holes, haven't you? Where every post pulls you deeper. Ethan's shielding Isabella from this chaos, but the media's relentless. Paparazzi sneak into the hospital, and a tabloid leaks Ethan's name, dubbing him Dr. Heartthrob. The attention's a nightmare, but it's also a clue. Someone's feeding the press. Is it an inside job? A nurse needing cash? Or someone higher up, orchestrating a distraction? You're chewing on this now, and I love how you're connecting the dots with me. Every new detail is a breadcrumb, leading us closer to a truth that's bigger than Ethan could have imagined. Back in the hospital, Ethan's life is unraveling. He's sleep-deprived, snapping at colleagues, and haunted by Isabella's journals. One entry chills him. I'm tired of being their pawn. I want out. Whose pawn? Her family's? Someone else's? You're feeling Ethan's desperation, aren't you? That need to know, even when it's dangerous. Then comes another twitch from Isabella, a faint squeeze of her hand when Ethan reads to her. It's not enough to call it a recovery, but it's enough to fuel him. He's talking to her more, sharing bits of his life. His mom's laugh, his fear of failing her. You've done that, haven't you? Poured your heart out to someone who might not hear? It's cathartic, but it's also reckless. Rachel catches him one night, her face a mix of pity and warning. You're losing it, Ethan, she says, but he can't stop. And then as he's leaving her room, he finds something slipped under the door, a crumpled note with 3 words, "She's not safe." Your heart's pounding now, isn't it? Mine too. Who left it? What do they know? The hospital feels like a maze of shadows, and Ethan's running out of time. You're not going anywhere, are you? Good, because this story's about to take a turn that'll leave you speechless. Here we are, you and I, standing on the edge of a story that's spiraling into something darker, more tangled, and absolutely impossible to turn away from. That crumpled note Ethan found under Isabella's hospital room door, "She's not safe," is burning a hole in his pocket, and you can feel his pulse racing as he clutches it, his mind spinning with questions. Who slipped it there? Is it a warning, a threat, or a cry for help? You're probably gripping your phone or leaning closer to the screen, desperate for answers, and I'm right there with you, unraveling this mystery step by heart-pounding step. The stakes are skyrocketing now, And just when you think you've got a handle on this roller coaster, an unexpected twist is about to flip everything you thought you knew. We're diving deeper into the web of secrets surrounding Isabella's coma, Ethan's forbidden feelings, and the shadows lurking in St. Augustine's medical center. The subplots are thickening, the tension's unbearable, and I promise you, this isn't the kind of story you can pause and walk away from. You're hooked, just like I knew you'd be, so let's keep going together, because what's coming next will leave your jaw on the floor. Ethan's world is closing in, and you can feel the walls of that sterile hospital tightening around him. The note's handwriting is shaky, scrawled in black ink, and it's unsigned, which only fuels his paranoia. He's barely sleeping, his days a blur of checking Isabella's vitals, dodging reporters camped outside the hospital, and wrestling with the fact that he's falling for a woman who can't even open her eyes. You've been there, haven't you? Caught up in something that feels like a dream and a nightmare all at once? Ethan's obsession with Isabella is no longer just emotional. It's a mission. That sedative in her blood test, the vanishing witness from the crash, Lily's cryptic hints about bad luck. It's all pointing to something sinister. He's sneaking into the hospital's digital archives now, hacking into restricted files with a colleague's borrowed password, his heart hammering as he scans for clues. You're rooting for him, but you're also nervous, right? Because every click could get him caught. And then late one night, he finds it, a deleted email from Dr. Harold Vance, the hospital's CEO, to an unknown recipient, dated the day before Isabella's accident. It's vague but chilling. The Monroe situation needs handling. Discretion is critical. You're gasping now, aren't you? Is Vance involved? Does this tie to the Monroe family's empire? You're dying to know, and so is Ethan, but before he can dig deeper, the hospital's security system flags his access. He's in trouble. Big trouble. And you can feel the noose tightening. Now let's pull back and weave in the subplots, because this story's not just about Ethan's crusade. Lily Monroe, Isabella's rebellious sister, is becoming a wild card. She's showing up at the hospital unannounced, her artist's smock splattered with paint, her eyes darting like she's expecting trouble. Lily's been digging into the family's business, and she drops a bombshell on Ethan during a tense coffee shop meeting. The Monroe empire is bleeding money, and Isabella was pushing to sell off major assets before her crash. She was making enemies, Lily whispers, glancing over her shoulder. Powerful ones. You're leaning in now, picturing corporate conspiracies and boardroom betrayals, the kind of drama that trends on YouTube with hashtags like #BillionaireSecrets or #FamilyBetrayal. Lily's scared, but she's also cagey, refusing to name names. Is she protecting someone, or is she playing Ethan? You've met people like that, haven't you? The ones who dangle just enough truth to keep you hooked? Ethan's torn, Lily's his only ally, but her motives are murky, and you're starting to wonder if she knows more about that note than she's letting on. The plot's thickening, and you're right there with me, piecing it together, craving the next clue. Here's where the twist hits, and trust me, you didn't see this coming. Ethan's back in Isabella's room, reading to her from one of her journals, his voice soft as he shares a passage about her dream to travel the world. It's a quiet moment, the kind that makes your heart ache, and you're probably thinking, this is why he's falling for her. Then it happens. Isabella's eyes flutter open. Just for a second, her gaze locks with Ethan's clear and piercing, before she slips back into unconsciousness. You're screaming, aren't you? I am too. It's not a full recovery, but it's a crack in the impossible. A moment that changes everything. Ethan's shaking, tears in his eyes, because she saw him. She knew he was there. But here's the kicker. When he checks the monitors, there's no record of her waking. No spike in brain activity. No change in vitals. It's like it never happened. You're reeling now, and so is Ethan, questioning his sanity. Was it a hallucination? A miracle? Or something else entirely? This twist raises the stakes to a fever pitch, because now Ethan's not just chasing a conspiracy. He's chasing proof that Isabella's still fighting, that she's reaching for him. You're glued to this, and I know you're begging for answers, but I'm keeping you on the edge, because this story's far from over. Let's dive into the hospital's underbelly, where the subplot with Dr. Rachel Kim is heating up. Rachel's been watching Ethan spiral, and you can see the conflict in her eyes. Part concern, part frustration. She's dealing with her own mess. The hospital board, led by Vance, is pushing to reallocate ICU resources, and Isabella's bed is on the chopping block. Rachel's fighting to keep her there, but you're starting to wonder whose side she's on. She confronts Ethan in the break room, her voice low but sharp, You're going to get yourself fired, or worse. There's history here, and you can feel it. The kind of messy, unresolved love that lingers like a bruise. Rachel's pragmatic, but she's also hiding something. Ethan catches her texting someone late at night, her face pale when she thinks no one's watching. Is she reporting to Vance? Covering for someone? You've been in those moments, haven't you? Where trust hangs by a thread. This subplot's weaving into the main conflict, because Rachel's choices could tip the scales for Isabella's survival. You're invested, and I love how you're picking up on every hint, every glance, every lie. The public's obsession with Isabella's case is another layer of chaos, and it's trending harder than ever. X posts with hashtag Coma are exploding, with influencers like Mystery Unveiled posting theories about corporate cover-ups and secret affairs. The media's circling Ethan now, a TMZ-style outlet splashing his photo with headlines like, Doctor's Dangerous Obsession. You've seen how fast gossip spreads, haven't you? Like wildfire on your For You page. The attention's making Ethan's life hell, but it's also amplifying the mystery. Someone leaks a grainy photo of the man in the dark coat, the one Ethan saw lurking, and X-users are going wild, tagging it hashtag hospital stalker. Ethan's sure it's connected to the note, but the hospital's stonewalling, claiming it's a privacy issue. You're furious for him, right? Because you know he's onto something. The public pressure's a double-edged sword. It's keeping Isabella's case in the spotlight, but it's also painting a target on Ethan's back. You're feeling the heat, and I'm right here, guiding you through this storm. As the tension builds, Ethan's life is unraveling faster. He's suspended from the hospital for unauthorized access to the archives, a blow that leaves him reeling. You can picture him, can't you? Sitting in his cramped apartment, the note in one hand, Isabella's journal in the other, trying to make sense of it all. He's losing everything. His job, his reputation, maybe his mind, but he can't stop. That moment when Isabella's eyes opened is seared into him, a beacon in the dark. Then, late at night, his phone buzzes with an anonymous text. Meet me at the pier. Midnight. Come alone. Your heart's in your throat now, isn't it? Mine too. Who's reaching out? Is it a trap? A breakthrough? Ethan's got no choice. He's too deep to turn back. You're with him, feeling the chill of the night air, the weight of every step toward the unknown. This is where the story's hurtling toward its climax, but I'm not letting you off the hook yet. The truth's out there, closer than ever, and you're not going anywhere until we find it together. You and I have been on this wild ride together, chasing the truth through the shadows of St. Augustine's Medical Center from 4, and now we're standing at the precipice of a climax that's going to hit you like a thunderbolt. Ethan's gripping that anonymous text. Meet me at the pier. Midnight. Come alone. And you can feel the salty night air, the pounding of his heart as he heads to the rendezvous, knowing this could be the key to unraveling the mystery of Isabella's coma or a trap that ends it all. You're right there with him, your pulse racing because every clue, every twist, the sedative, the note, Isabella's fleeting glance has led to this moment. We're about to uncover the truth behind the hashtag Coma saga, tie up the subplots, and deliver a final twist that'll leave you speechless. This isn't just a story anymore. It's a journey we've shared, and I promise you, the answers are worth every second you've invested. So, hold tight, because we're diving into a finale that's equal parts heart-wrenching, shocking, and unforgettable, and I need you with me until the last word. Ethan arrives at the pier, the Hudson River lapping darkly against the docks, the city's glow a distant hum. He's alone, or so he thinks, until a figure steps from the shadows. Lily Monroe, her face pale, her artist's hands trembling. You're as stunned as Ethan, aren't you? Lily, the rebellious sister, the one who's been dropping cryptic hints, is the anonymous texter. She's terrified, her voice a rushed whisper as she spills a truth that flips the story on its head. Isabella's crash wasn't an accident. It was a hit, orchestrated by a faction within the Monroe Empire, led by none other than Victoria Monroe, Isabella's own mother. You're gasping now, because this is the kind of family betrayal that fuels viral YouTube deep dives with hashtags like #BillionaireConspiracy. Lily explains that Isabella was planning to dismantle the family's shadier dealings. Offshore accounts, shady partnerships, and Victoria, desperate to protect her legacy, hired a fixer to stage the crash. The sedative Ethan found, administered to ensure Isabella wouldn't fight back. You're reeling, picturing Victoria's icy demeanor, her whispered talks with Dr. Vance. It's all connecting, and you're feeling Ethan's rage, his heartbreak, Because the woman he loves was betrayed by her own blood. Lily's got proof, a recorded call between Victoria and the fixer. But she's scared, because Victoria's reach is long, and the fixer's still out there. You're on the edge of your seat, right? Because this is the climax, and it's bigger than you ever imagined. But the stakes don't stop climbing. As Lily hands Ethan a USB drive with the evidence, headlights flare in the distance. A black SUV screeches toward them. And you know this is no coincidence. It's the fixer, the man in the dark coat, and he's here to clean up loose ends. You're yelling at Ethan to run, your heart in your throat as he grabs Lily and bolts, the pier's wooden planks thundering under their feet. The chase is relentless, car tires squealing, a gunshot cracking the night, and you're living every second of it, the kind of action that trends on X with #TrueCrimeThriller. Ethan and Lily duck into a warehouse, their breaths ragged, and in that moment, you see Ethan's resolve harden. He's not just a doctor anymore. He's a man fighting for justice, for love, for the woman who opened her eyes for him. You've been in those do-or-die moments, haven't you? Where everything's on the line. Ethan makes a split-second choice. He tells Lily to take the USB to the police while he draws the fixer's attention. It's a sacrifice, and you're tearing up, because you know what this could cost him. Lily escapes, but Ethan's cornered, the fixer's gun gleaming. You're holding your breath, because this is it, the moment where everything hangs in the balance. Here's where the miracle happens, and it's not what you expected. Just as the fixer closes in, sirens wail, and police flood the warehouse. You're cheering, aren't you? Because Lily made it, she got the evidence to the authorities, and they're here to end this nightmare. The fixer's arrested, and Ethan's safe, but he's not celebrating yet. He races back to the hospital, because there's one last piece of this puzzle. Isabella. You're with him, feeling the urgency, the hope that's been building since her eyes fluttered open. When he reaches her room, something impossible unfolds. Isabella's awake, fully awake, her voice weak but clear, calling his name. You're crying now, because this is the miracle, the moment that #SaveIsabella was praying for. Her recovery defies medical logic, a testament to the bond she and Ethan forged, even in silence. You're feeling the weight of it, aren't you? That love can transcend comas, conspiracies, everything. Ethan holds her, tears streaming, and you know this is the resolution you've been chasing. A love story that's real, raw, and trending for all the right reasons. Now, let's tie up the subplots, because you deserve closure. Victoria's arrested, her empire crumbling under the weight of Lily's evidence. The media's eating it up, with YouTube channels like Crime Uncovered, breaking down the #Monroe scandal in viral videos. Dr. Vance is exposed for his role in covering up the crash, his career in ruins, and the hospital board scrambles to save face. Rachel, Ethan's ex, steps up, admitting she suspected Vance's corruption but was too scared to act. She and Ethan reconcile as friends, a bittersweet nod to their past, and you're nodding, because you've had those moments of letting go. Lily finds peace, channeling her grief into art that honors Isabella's dreams. Her work trending on X with #MonroeSisters. The public's obsession fades, but Isabella's story lives on, a beacon of hope in a world of chaos. You're feeling satisfied, right? Every thread's woven together, and you're ready for the final twist, the one that'll make this unforgettable. Here it is, and it's a gut punch. As Isabella recovers, she reveals a secret she's kept since waking. During her coma, she heard Ethan's voice, felt his presence, and it anchored her to life. But she also saw something else. Visions, fragments of a future where she and Ethan expose more corruption, not just in her family, but across the elite circles they touched. You're stunned, aren't you? Because this isn't just a love story or a thriller. It's a call to action. Isabella and Ethan, now a team, vow to chase this truth, their bond stronger than ever. You're imagining it now, aren't you? A sequel, a movement, trending with #TruthSeekers. This twist isn't just a shock. It's a spark, leaving you in awe of what's possible when love and justice collide. You're reflecting on your own life, the fights worth fighting, the people worth holding close. This story's not just a YouTube video. It's a mirror, a reminder that miracles happen when you don't give up. You're carrying this with you, aren't you? I knew you would, because you and we've been in this together, and this ending's yours to keep.